So joining me now is Annapurna Menon, who's a visiting lecturer and doctoral researcher in politics, University of Westminster Centre of Democracy. Just looking at some of the images there and some very passionate clips from people that are out on the streets right now. I mean, this isn't just places like Mumbai and Delhi. It's Chennai, Varanasi, Guwahati, Hyderabad, Bhopal, Pondicherry. Are these disturbances and protests going to keep spreading like this?
From what I can say right now, it definitely seems so. So these protests are all relating to the Citizenship Amendment Bill that I would be happy to elaborate on further later on. But the protests are right now primarily of two kinds. So in the northeast region of India, in Assam and Tripura primarily, we have been having protests against fears of large-scale migration happening into these areas because of the Citizenship Amendment Act. While in mainland India, the protest is primarily against the discriminatory nature of this bill. And the protests have been carried in the short span of 36 hours in 16 universities all across India. And there have been large-scale rallies being carried out on the streets, in the roads, everywhere. And further, there has also been parliamentary opposition to this act. So the states of Bengal, Kerala and Punjab have outrightly refused to implement this act in their states.
I mean, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has shown himself to be a leader who is not afraid to make certain bold decisions and to take risks. Is this a gamble too far? Do you think he anticipated this reaction?
To be fair, I do think he anticipated this reaction, but this is perfectly in keeping with this government's overall strategy of, making or reducing Muslims into second-class citizens for the country. And this is not one attack, right? We are seeing this happening in a pattern. So you have the BJP, whose parent organization is obviously the right-wing organization called RSS, the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. And the BJP has had three very clear aims for this after their re-election in May 2019, where they have been emboldened with a majority from the country. So their first aim was to sort out Kashmir, which effectively they have done, at reducing Kashmir in a siege situation even 4 months after it started. The second of all was the building of the temple on disputed territory. So one of their campaign slogans has been Mandir Wahi Banayenge, which means we are going to make the temple there. And the Supreme Court gave a judgment upholding the construction of the temple in that area while giving 5 acres of land to Muslims as a token.
You were saying that he would have anticipated this reaction, Narendra, but in terms of the strength of the opposition, the diversity of the protesters, does this go across sectarian, religious, ethnic divide within India? In other words, is it just Indian Muslims protesting here, or does it go beyond that?
That is not the case. I do have to point out that Muslim student universities have been targeted disproportionately, because we've had cases of troops going into libraries where students were not protesting, but simply because they're Muslim student majority universities, they have been targeted disproportionately. But people from all across the country, across classes and
non-Muslims are also unhappy about the discriminatory nature.
Exactly. They have been coming out on the streets and saying that this goes against the very secular nature of the country. It goes against the preamble of the Constitution, and that makes absolutely no sense.
Well, I'm sure we'll be discussing this again. Thank you very much for now, Annapurna Menon.
Thank you.